Cardcaptor Sakura was an anime series produced by the Madhouse Studio, adding 70 episodes divided by 3 seasons, 2 movies, and 3 OVA specials. Who wouldn't love it? It was and always will be one of my favorite anime. But it was a long time ago without watching the anime. Want to know why? I cannot identify myself, but I live in the city of Santiago de Compostela, Galicia, Spain. I am 28 years old. I live with my girlfriend and my 23-year-old sister. At the time, my sister was doing interchange in Austria, though in 2015. One day, I was rummaging through the loft of my late-night house to see some of the boxes my sister left before she left. A box caught my attention. A box full of many DVDs of programs from the 90s and 2000s. Between them was a DVD of Cardcaptor Sakura. At the time, I was very happy because this was my favorite anime. I watched a lot with my sister, and mainly, I made cosplays of the anime. I found something very wrong on the cover with the package. The cover seemed to have been ripped off and in place of it was written text, but I did not pay much attention to it. The DVD looked strange still. It was all white and written on top, episode 59B, grossly, with black pen. I did not care much for this and put it in my DVD player, but strange things caught my attention. The opening, and especially the name of the episode, did not appear. I was kind of fucking for it and did not call. The beginning of the episode was one dialogue between Sakura and Tomio in a garden, talking about the events of such an early episode, which was disappearance of Tomio. At least started normal, nothing out of the ordinary. Barely knew this shit would happen. After the conversation is spread for a 2-minute act, the scene cuts to them in a museum, seeing works of art. But one thing caught my attention. A pretty bizarre work of art. A painting depicted a naked person in the pool of blood. I was a bit scared. How would a childish drawing like this show such a thing? But they just walked past it without even noticing it. Suddenly, the camera turned to the ceiling and revealed that there was a big hole. At this point, a very strong static sound began to come out of the speakers. I thought it was just some bug. And incredible as it may sound, the speakers were working normally. Even with the audio knocked out, I could see some sort of red hand pulling some people, and then I could see a lot of blood coming out of the hole. And then, Sakura finds out she's one of the living things, or little monsters, Cloud Card, and goes after it to capture them. I noticed something very strange. Kerberos was not on your shoulder. The audio at this time back to normal, but the audio jumped into the Japanese dubbing. At this point, I managed to understand anything, but I kept going anyway. When the screen cut to black by surprise, at the moment, something had been censored for a reason. I did not understand why. The act stretched for a minute. Suddenly, he cuts through the battle scene. What I found most bizarre was Sakura's uniform, a gray robe with black stripes and blood red. And the cloud card looking too bizarre to talk about. A giant demon with 2 yellow eyes. And I wanted to say one thing. The demon did not look like an animal character, but a very realistic thing. So real that it seemed live action. And I was a bit traumatized. But the creature like that would not appear or in a childlike drawing. Well, at least the fight was like any other anime fight. Sakura applied her famous blows and etc. By the end of the fight was awful. When Sakura captured the demon, that's when it all started. Horrible, agonizing scream that could only be described as a scream of a man being tortured in sharp 8-bit tones. The camera showed Sakura's face, and what I saw was terrifying. Flashes showed pictures of victims of the Armenian genocide, authentic cleansing committed by the Ottomans against the Armenians, women being raped, and elderly people killed in auto accidents. Shit, I was so disgusted that I nearly threw up, but continued. Around Sakura was on fire. We could clearly see her bleeding nose and her skin getting fainter. It stretched for an act for almost half a minute, until she fell to the ground. I did not believe what I had saw. Sakura was dead. I started to cry violently. I was scared. I did not believe Sakura was dead, until on TV a Polish text appeared. Luckily, I managed to translate it because my father was born in Krakow, Poland. No more hope. The screen cut to red for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, the act cut to the dialogue between Sharon, Tomio, Toya, and Fujika. Tomio was crying too loud. This time, finally, the audio was in Spanish. Then I could understand the dialogue. What a horrible tragedy, Tomio. Really, I can't lose my friends. Father, who's going to take care of the funeral arrangements? Tomiya, leave it to me. You bring the coffin. Great. She was really beautiful. At this point, after the first, she was really beautiful, the audio started to jump in some language I didn't understand, probably Turkish. And from there, I started to understand. But at the end of the act, I heard a voice shouting, "I can't take it anymore." It was Tomiya. It turned out that she was holding a gun to her head. She pulled the trigger. At this time of the shot, I swear I did not hear the sound of the speakers, but it seemed to not heard from somewhere in my house. I did not check it because it was almost 3:35 in the morning, and something made me watch the episode. I did not care about it and kept watching. After the end of the act, the screen blinked in black and white for about 10 seconds, and suddenly another phrase in Polish appeared. "Thank you for playing with me. Hell awaits for you." I jumped off the couch after reading the sentence, but something else scared me even more. A horrible scream echoed from my loudspeaker. The scream showed Sakura's face with wide eyes without expression and mouth. I threw myself on the floor and fainted. The horrible noise continued for a long time. Even my neighbors had to call the police. I was woken by an officer at 7 in the morning. They said they found me in a pool of blood coming from my mouth, while a loud scream came from the TV that was off. I quickly went to my DVD player and saw it was off, but the episode DVD was still there. I waited for the cops to leave my house to take the DVD and put it back in the box. But when I went to the packing box, there was a paper on it. It was written an address from a rental company in La Corona. I took the DVD to the address through eBay, and the buyers told me the episode should never have been shown, but it was broadcast in South Spain and Portugal, and that one copy of the episode was left and he bought it, even though he said that almost all copies were destroyed. 2 years have passed and I will not forget that day in my life. I swear, after that day, I had to undergo 2 surgeries in my brain because of the cerebral hemorrhage, but at least that episode is in a better place, burning in hell.